Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud, and I interview industry changers from across the globe about their past, present, and futures in business, innovation, and life. There's no guest scheduled for today, so me and my producer will be discussing the latest innovations in the industries to keep you up to date. Let's chime in. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. We have a very special show for you today. So today I will be working on science innovations through MIT. Yes, innovations that happen through MIT. They got so many different things on their website to show. So I'm not running out of no shows. So I wanted to talk about one of their inventions that has came out. But before I get started, I would like to welcome also Nathan to the show.
Good afternoon, Kimberly. And for everybody listening to, what is MIT exactly? The acronym?
It is Michigan, I want to say. MIT is an abbreviation for, give me just a second.
Like Michigan Institute of Technology or something like that?
Yeah, I want to say Michigan, but I'm not. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, okay.
Yeah. So before we get started with that, that's the most prestigious school. I do know that. I do know that it's the most prestigious, innovative, technological, inventive school. Mm-hmm. That's what I do know. I don't know. So drones, we're going to talk about drones. Drones can be as disruptive as they are beneficial. Dedrone citywide drone detection product throws a virtual shield around a geographical area, warning law enforcement within seconds if a drone has entered the designated airspace. Dedrone tracks a proprietary blend of signals from drones, including radio frequency, ADS-B data, also used in planes, and remote ID beacons to identify the locations of incursions. Mary Lou Smulders, the company's chief marketing officer, compares it to a traffic control system for drones, something that didn't previously exist. Customers include Con Edison, which is using it to protect its infrastructures, Barcelona's police force, and an unspecified number of airports. So, Nathan, before we get started with that, I would like to talk about what I think. I think that these drone detectors, I looked it up. I think that they're really good for the police, because if somebody is spying on somebody with a drone, it's going to come to terms where we're dealing with drones in the sky that blow up in the future, possibly because of the fact that we have people that want to see harm done to us. And I think these drone detectors are wonderful. They're also coming out with drone detectors that shuts down the drone if they're in government or a secret or some type of, it cannot be a property that they don't want drones. If they don't want drones on that property, then what they will do is they will shut down that drone. So what is your interpretation on it, Nathan?
I don't know too much about drones and how they operate, but I do know that they have to use some sort of radio frequency or something to connect to that drone. So I'm not sure what type of wave it is, if it's like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or just radio frequency, but definitely a way to interrupt them would be to interrupt whatever that frequency is. The problem is, if that's what's going on, then if there's other technologies on the similar type of frequency, especially within that range, because it sounds like it's going to be like this big fence or something like that, where they do the disruption area or something like that. So
yes,
if you interrupt that drone, would you be interrupting other devices as well. And you also got to be careful too. Like if you're interrupting that drone or disabling, it's going to come down and crash into something. So it just kind of depends on what that geographical area is like and being able to disable them in a safe manner. I don't know if it would
Yeah,
maybe be possible to intercept the frequency and take control of it. And
I think that's what they probably are talking about because it's no way that they will just disable a drone in mid-air unless they disable it to the point where they take control of it, like you just said,
mhm.
and it swirl around slowly until it reach ground. Because they can also detect the person that is controlling the drone, where that person is.
Yeah, because it's a two-way signal. It has to send out and then receive probably. So a lot of those drones, when they're piloting them, have cameras on them so the pilot can see, where that drone is going. So it is a two-way signal, and it can be used to identify where that person is controlling it. So that's another thing too. I mean, like instead of maybe intercepting the frequency, is just maybe seeing where the person is and if they can get to them in time to, do what is necessary to get that drone under control and into safety. Or we're not just saying that it might be, like a dangerous drone that has a payload or like weaponry on it. Because, somebody might just be flying around a casual drone and says like, hey, you can't be flying this around right here. It's illegal and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
depending on
they
the situation.
I believe they said because the detection software, Dedrone Tracker AI, is the world leading smart airspace security software. At the core, Dedrone's comprehensive solution is Dedrone Tracker AI. This powerful detection software utilizes input from various sensors to detect the presence of a drone and determine the drone's pilot location. Sensors include radio frequency, radar, video, acoustics. By analyzing behavior, imagery, flight data, and more, AI engine provides operators with a queue of risk prioritized targets. This drone threat analysis is achieved autonomous background interrogation of unauthorized drones while seamlessly tracking multiple friendly drones. Dedrone is the world's largest customer base, enabling security teams, law enforcement, and military professionals to protect over 500 sites from drone threats. Sorry about that. So, like, I seen what you said. I get exactly what you said. But do you think that this is necessary just in case, there are flying threats? Because my heart goes out to what happened in Las Vegas, and I want to make sure, they don't grow to. I want to get it out there to make sure they know that, this can grow to like national security threats, and I don't like that. I don't like to have to even talk about it, but overseas, they used radios. It was some type of radios, and they imploded them. They exploded, and they killed a lot of people and injured a lot of people. So we have to think about that type of thing. But what do you think about, like what's to come possibly? We're just there, just talking
Mm-hmm.
normal. We don't know exactly what the future holds, but what do you think about possible threats?
Well, as you're saying something earlier about being able to identify just like what's maybe a drone you're aware of or maybe an unknown drone. I mean, drones are so small. You can't just look at a drone in the sky very easily and be able to tell if it's like a drone or a unknown drone. So having this technology can give you more information about the drone,
True.
and that has like a serial number or like a license plate number or some sort of identification number, and it could be able to tell if it matches up with something that is yours or what's not. And so having that makes it really easily because, like in the military and stuff like that, they could look up and see a plane and then it would have like a logo on it that said, oh, this is the United States plane. Oh, this is a Japanese plane. Oh, this is a German plane.
Hmm.
And it's easy to, look up and see that. But with drones, you got to be able to have something tell that for you because it won't be able to be visible by the naked eye.
I agree. I definitely agree. So do you think that this is something that should be looked more into and gradually increase with technology, or do you think this is something that should pass and isn't really a national need?
Absolutely. I mean, drones, they've become much more easily accessible and affordable too. I mean, you can go down to your local department store and they probably have some drones in their display cases for you to purchase. And you could, take your drone and strap something to it. Or, I mean, there's so many things that could possibly be done that are dangerous with a drone, and with a drone it's so easily able to go anywhere and do something.
Yeah, well said, Nathan. Okay, well, we're gonna move on from that and we're gonna move on to AI with music. So earlier this year, an anonymous creator who goes by Ghostwriter caused a stir with a track called Heart on My Sleeve, which you features convincing AI generated vocals that sounded like Drake and The Weeknd. It was quickly yanked from legal streaming services, but not before it went viral. The voices were created using open source software known as Soto Bits SVC, which allows the technically inclined to train a neural network on a singer's voice and then produce a song using AI created vocals. Enthusiasts swap vocal models, everyone from Bad Bunny to Taylor Swift to James Hetfield, in Discord communities. Meanwhile, user-friendly websites that employ software have been mushrooming. So I know I don't even know much about it, but I know enough about it where I'm saying this is great, but bad. It has to be some type of blocking tool or some type of tool used to immediately block it before it goes viral because that's taken out of the musician's pocket, and that's false advertisement, making a single when of somebody else's voice. And that's why all of these stars nowadays are putting copyrights on their voice before they expire and go and die. They don't want somebody else using their voice as vocals. What do you think about that?
Well, using metadata, as we talked about in a previous show,
Yeah.
when they create this sort of file, it's going to be able to tell, when that file was created and stuff like that, or maybe even where that was produced. And so, like, let's say we're using somebody like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was performing a concert in New York at, 7 p.m., but this file was recorded in, I don't know, like Texas or something like that at during that concert. So there's no possible way she could have said that. So it's like you can take that information about the file and cross-reference it with what was going on in that public figure's life to know if that really happened or not. But that takes a lot of digging, and people can very easily just take something, and with how quickly information spreads on the internet, it could quickly go viral when it's this incorrect or false or fictional audio file of somebody saying something. And then people will believe that to be true without doing the research and verifying if it is actually them saying that or AI.
That is such a great point. If she's all the way in Houston and somebody said, "Oh, this released now," but she's doing a tour, there's no way that she could have made that music, you know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so I truly feel like, even though that's a point, you know, it's I guess it hasn't caught up. The AI technology to catch these things haven't caught up to that. And then it depends on the website what reports come back from the website with like into the data breach systems. Like for instance, I go live, that report comes back to me like an hour later or 30 minutes later, how many minutes I did, how many people were watching, you know, um, the same thing happens with the music where the music gets, it comes back, but they catch it quick, but not quick enough because I don't understand how it went viral. I don't understand. And I feel like, you know, they they're getting better at it. Like YouTube, if I play something on YouTube, YouTube will say, "Hey, look, that's a copyright infringement or a third party something."
Hmm.
They're getting better, I have to admit.
Well, even
But
something like Shazam, you take
yeah,
something and it listens to a song and it tells you what that song is and who it wrote it, all the information, like what album it's from, and maybe even give you the lyrics too. But with Shazam, like let's say somebody in this case, they did something that sounded like Drake and The Weeknd, and if Shazam listens to it, is like, wait a minute, I don't hear anything like that. I mean, you'd think with two big artists like that, that Shazam would be able to figure out it's them right away because, they've gone through all the publications and distributors and stuff like that and record companies. So if it doesn't detect it, then you know that probably something is up, that maybe this is fake.
okay, okay. So would you keep it, or would you want, like, what do you want to see? It go or to keep it?
I would not want to see this being used. I like to keep, music and stuff like that. I
Me
mean,
too.
it's an art form, and I want to be able to have the expressions and the emotions and the personality and the talent within it. And I just don't think, I mean, if you have AI producing music, it lacks every one of those elements.
Yeah,
So I don't want to see this. It might be fun to play around with, but no, I don't want to see it.
I agree. I agree. I don't want somebody else making others talent, like making talent out of machines, I mean, I'm not saying that it should, I love machines. I'm a machine
Yeah.
lover, but I just feel like that is just where I draw the line. Because, if Beyonce don't come out with a new single, but a new single come out and it sound good and it's all on point, you have to think, she just lost a whole bunch of money because that one single was made by a machine and they took it down and it's no longer being played. So
Hmm.
yeah. So moving on, I would keep it. I mean, I wouldn't keep it though. So moving on, in parts of India and Africa, poaching remains the greatest extinction threat to elephants, big cats, even in protected areas. TrailGuard AI system created by Resolve, a US-based environmental organization, employs tiny cameras powered with tech from Intel to monitor endangered species and spot poachers. This system uses either cell or long range radio signals to transmit the images to authorities' phones in as little as 30 seconds. TrailGuard custom-made AI models can be trained to detect not just humans, but any species of interest, from tigers to hyenas. The tech resulted in the arrest of more than 30 poachers during a test phase in East Africa, and large-scale testing is currently underway in tiger-dense central India. What do you think about that? I'll let you start first.
This is kind of like what we were talking about in that first article about the drones, but instead of with drones, it's with, poachers. So being able to find out where they're located so they can be intercepted, just to use that word. And having a bunch of little cameras everywhere in the wildlife, I mean, they're going to have pretty much everywhere, because I know India and Africa, they're both very wildlife heavy, and in some places like sanctuaries too. So being able to help preserve that, and I'm totally against, people going around and just using it for recreation. That's not good for animal ethics or rights and stuff like that, and the treatment of them. So having this little preventative measure to, enforce those wildlife areas will be good, because you can't have a ranger everywhere. And rangers, they make a lot of noise, so it's easy for the poachers to stay away from them or maybe conceal themselves. So this will help to, cover all that ground and keep this issue under control.
Well said. And these poachers, they they not only get in trouble, but they're away, because this is an organization that just sits up there and kills elephants and take their ivory and all that stuff. And I don't want that for wildlife. Even though I rather watch wildlife from afar, you know, I feel like their lives matter too. They we need to start using, even though it's American made, we need to start using that, for places that so we can track, like possibly bears, why bears decide to come out to the city and sit and walk around in neighborhoods and stuff. Why. Maybe come up with a different way to isolate them deeper in the wild. But this is as deep as they go. They got tigers and everything, and these tigers are dying too, and I feel like, we need to figure out a way to, which we're working on step one. Step one is the process, which is AI that can track human movement and human body, physical body, and I like it. I'm not saying that it's not good, because it takes 30 seconds to reach the police. So I just I hope that, in the year 3000 we don't have, wildlife that is limited. Wildlife that is limited, So yeah.
Well, we got one more to move through here. I'm going to give this one a maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind
Yeah.
of 50-50 on this one.
Yeah, me too. I just, it's a good thing. It's definitely a
Yeah.
good thing. So, the next one is plane tickets, loyalty cards, and more have moved from wallets to cell phones, but the key document has not. The passport. Unless you're in Finland, in August, it began the world's first digital passport program. from Finnish citizens flying on the national carrier Finnair between Finland and London, Manchester, England, and Edinburgh. To qualify to use this app, people must be registered with their local police, have their photograph taken, and sign a consent form. But once on board, all travelers have to do is get their cell phone scanned at airport immigration, and the fear of losing one's paper passport is gone. What do you think about that?
It would be good to have. I mean, how often do you go somewhere and the first thing that you put in your pockets is your phone? I mean, pretty much everywhere you go, you always have your phone with you. I mean, you might not always have your wallet or your keys, but you're always going to have your phone. You always make sure you have it with you. So being able to have that loaded onto your phone will be great. The only thing is, though, like, what if you're abroad and you're doing something and maybe you drop your phone into water, or you lose your phone, or your phone gets corrupted and breaks? I mean, you got to
Yeah.
have a backup plan. So, I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to keep your paper one, but just for the convenience of having it on your phone, because maybe one day you traveled to the airport and realized, oh no, I didn't pack my passport. I got to go all the way back home and get it. Well, now you don't need to because you have it on your phone.
Yeah, I think that this in under a minute, this is a wonderful idea because people have it on their phone, like I said, and like you said, if it get corrupted, if anything happened to it, then what? But 9 times out of 10, when we buy phones, we try not to wet them and we
Hmm.
try not to lose them, but things do happen. I totally feel like this is a good thing. Even the United States, the big airports are doing it now. So that's a good thing. I plan on trying to get my passport soon. So I feel like this is a wonderful idea. And sorry, Nathan, I feel like this is a wonderful idea. And
It is great. I say go for it.
yeah, go for it. So anyway, I just wanted to say, you guys, that I love you guys. I hope that you guys take care, be safe, and I will see y'all another time.
Never waste my time. You are I want.